rental arbitrage, and they were doing it for about 4 years in Rochester, New York. And they came upon 10X, since he lives and breathes in the world of, of, of arbitrage. His algorithms picked up one of Sean's ads, and he got to listen to it. He was very, very intrigued. And the reason he came on board with 10X is he realized that he could co-list remotely. He could make more money, and then it was like a no-brainer, why not? So without any further ado, I want to introduce you here to Earl McCrae. And maybe, Earl, you can tell us a little bit more about why you thought 10X, why 10X and not another STR company. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about Sean's story that helped you solidify that you wanted to be on board with 10X B&B.
Absolutely. Hey, Susan, thanks for having me. And even though Yvonne's not on camera, she's always around. She's like the engine of the operations, and I just pretend like I'm driving the bus, but she's the driver. But the truth of the matter is, I was immensely taken back by Sean's personal story. Being an educator myself and having working with many of my students who are international students, I see firsthand how hard immigrants who come to this country, the American dream is a big thing, and they just work their behinds off. And
Ready and willing to do anything to get
anything,
that.
roll up the sleeves, let's go.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
excuses.
exactly.
And when I saw Sean's story, it hit me, emotionally. And then, because I had been in the space before, I said, this guy is brilliant. For him to pull all of these pieces together. And and so my immediate takeaway was that I was working really, really hard, but I wasn't working smart. I didn't know about price labs. I didn't know about hospitable. I had no idea how to build a remote hosting business because, at that point in time, we had, 13 properties, but they were all within a 45-minute radius of us, and we're doing it all. And my wife, to be quite honest with you, was getting tired. We were actually thinking about leaving the space. And then, when it really came down to it, our profit loss statement, all the money that we were making in the high season, we were giving back in the low season because we were locked into these leases. So, we were looking for a better way. We prayed about it. We set some intentions behind those prayers. And, you know, I think God just sent the algorithm, worked its way. And here we are. We're members of the community and we're having a blast.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I want to include also that these guys, this is a really important testimony. I want you guys to kind of like tune in here. Earl and Yvonne had like 13 arbitrage listings in the Rochester, New York area. When Earl went through the program and he learned about co-listing, he converted about 5 of them, right, into a short-term rental, which is quite an achievement. That's a pretty good ratio of almost close to 50% conversion. And people convert for one reason or another. And Earl has a very, very strong pitch. He's going to give you a little inside view of that right now. But before we do that, I want to let you guys know that tell us a little bit about your goals. You've got so you've got your 5 properties in Rochester that are converted to short-term rental. He does short-term and mid-term, by the way, so you guys are going to learn a little something today in this video. And then he's got 2 more coming up that are not mature enough yet to be a listing and make money yet, but they're in process, so that's cool. So he's got 7 total, and his goal is to get to 50. 50. But by the end of the year, he's looking to engage some of you, and he's open to interviewing some of you to do joint ventures, what we call a JV, which is a joint venture. And you've heard me and other coaches talk about how sometimes we ask newbie students to buddy up and learn from senior students, and this is a perfect example of how you can buddy up with Earl, listen a little bit about his program, and you're going to understand that maybe you could work with Earl too and learn while you're doing it. And he's a very, very, again, he's a teacher by profession, so he'd be a very, very it'd be a very important opportunity, and it'd be a really grateful opportunity for you to be able to work together with them. So without any further ado, I'm going to let Earl and promise to show a little bit of his pitch. So I'm going to let you share your screen, and you can tell us how you do it.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah. So, generally speaking, when we identify a potential property and we've taken it through the B&B analyzer, and we see that we can, safely get a landlord a 1.5 to 2.0 multiplier, then we basically engage in an opportunity to show our pitch deck. And I will say that one of the things that we're doing right now is we're partnering, as Susan said, with other members from the community because listen, we got the back end. 4 years into this, we've been superhost multiple times over 1,800 stays. We're at a 4.9 star rating. So we know the back end stuff, and we're using all of the systems. We're using Turno, we're using Price Labs, we're using Hospitables, we're using every system to make this automated. So, case in point, this one particular property in Cabo, Texas, is a presentation I just did for one of my JV partners 24 hours ago, and it went amazing. But literally, we use a lot of the information that that we've been given in the platform. Now we do offer a little bit more because we have 4 years of track record. So the yellow represents successes that we've had in the midterm space. The a tan represents successes that we've had in the short-term space, and we
Love it.
allow the owners to kind of after the presentation go through and take a look. So this is an opportunity for them to go on to Airbnb and take a look at what we've done for other real estate investors. We take their property, we get their photos, we are very meticulous at making sure the captions are right. We don't use our own iPhone. We get a professional because we talked about that in the community. You got to get professional photos. And we not only do we highlight the space, all right. This particular space is a whale, by the way. This has 6 bedrooms, and the basement was converted into an apartment.
Nice.
So 3 bathrooms. So we have a play. We have our annual festivals in the area. This place is pretty busy, and it's in the stone throw of our area hospitals. So this is an example of what we've been like really blessed to be able to do for some of our clients. And
That's
I hear you, hon. I know we have a music lesson, wrapping it up. And then we didn't go through the monies that we've made for our owners. For example, 34 for nights, owners made 13.98. 160 nights, owners made 24,960. So we're excited, and so we front load our presentation with that information, and then we just go through how we're different from the competition, all the stuff that we've learned in 10x B&B. Yeah, they could do it for themselves, but this is what we offer them if they allow us to do the heavy lifting. And then we just speak directly to their property. I let this owner know, hey, this is your rent rate, okay? Here's some comps in the area. Whether you do this or not, the competition is already making this. So we take this average nightly rate of 557 divided by your monthly rent rate. These are the number of nights that your place has to be booked. And guy, 16 out of 30, 21 out of 30, 14 out. This is already happening. So if we can do it for you, great. But if you don't want to do it, no problem. The competition is already doing it. And then we just leave them. We just leave them with the idea that, we're basically allowing them to know that we will work for free if we don't meet their rent rate after having it optimized for 60 days.
Beautiful.
We've had a lot of success.
That's great. That's great. So, guys, here's the, in a nutshell, you got to see a little bit about how Earl goes about doing his pitch. And I would say that his pitch is a best practice. It says 10x best practice. He has his own way of weaving the story, which is what we encourage. And then at the end of the day, you can see that this is like one of his host payouts, right? Like he demonstrated earlier before, 58 nights room fee. So this obviously looks like a monthly rental, right? It's $2,046. You know, what was another one?
So
I'll let you
so
explain.
so this is a great, so again, this is a midterm so this particular landlord, right? This is what he's getting for one of his 7 rooms.
Very nice. So times 7, guys. You do the math. Times 7. It's pretty astounding, right? And it's just like what Earl spoke to in his sample pitch that he was talking about. So I think that's pretty exciting. You can kind of see what the monthlies bring in, and it's very, very strong, especially what Earl is doing with midterm rentals. That's what most of us make in the short-term space, okay? So if you have to come back and listen to this a couple times, please do for all you newbies. But I want to thank you, Earl and Yvonne, for taking the time out and demonstrating not only how you would like to work with some of our new students coming in, and it kind of helps them run their business and help them scale it. And it also gives you an opportunity to learn the business kind of and be handheld a little bit in case you're a little bit scared to do it yourself, right? And sometimes people are like that in the beginning. Some of you are like that and some of you aren't. And it's all good. It doesn't matter where you're at. But you have people like Earl that you can partner with, right, and learn from. So I want to thank you guys for your time today. Anything, Earl, as a final thought, is there anything you would like to do to share with the students? Any insights or any
Absolutely.
motivational
Yeah.
quote you want to end with?
I think our coaches are the best. I don't want to lose name drop and lose anybody, but I mean I have a personal relationship with Travis and Beth, and I will tell you, I think our community is blessed, not based on the leadership, and they are great, but based on the people who are in the trenches with us, willing to hold our hands, respond to us in the Facebook group. I've been in a few communities. I've never seen the amount of support that's in this community right here. So that's all I would like to share.
Thank you. Thank you. And would you give any advice to a student that we thank you for that testimonial? It's very heartwarming. Would anything you want to encourage, any any encouragement you want to offer some of the other new students?
Yeah, do the fundamentals, guys. I know everybody wants to jump right on calls immediately, but the program is set it up for you to build your foundation first so that you don't just simply build fast but not have, get the LLC, get the Google page. There's a lot of front loading for you to be successful, not for the moment, but for the duration. And just go through the process. Trust the process. That's what I would say. Trust the process.
And you have a lot of help from, like I said, not only, like he said, the coaches, the program, and other students that you can benefit from their expertise as well and partner with them. So I want to thank you, Earl and Yvonne, for donating a little bit of your time and helping build people's confidence, and show them how you go about and do your business and how you're doing it successful. And we thank you so much, and we wish you so much success.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much.
People,
All
you
right.
take